I don't know if humanity in general is ready for this. It's like my question years and years ago, is humanity ready for freedom? And everybody, shook their heads, yes, freedom, freedom. But I still question it because freedom requires responsibility. Freedom for yourself requires a tremendous responsibility. No taking or feeding off of others, no blaming others. It's a tremendous amount of responsibility that saying, I am the creator. There is nothing in my way. There is nothing stopping me from wealth or health or anything else. That's freedom. That's a creator. But it also takes a tremendous amount of responsibility for yourself as the creator. So I'm saying all this in preparation for where we're going to go today. I'm saying all this to help really ground the understanding that consciousness is everything. It is what creates. Consciousness is what attracts energy. Consciousness is what created this entire universe and all of the other universes. It's not spiritual. This whole understanding is not spiritual. It's definitely not New Age, definitely not religious, but it's not even spiritual. Because the minute that we start attaching spiritual qualities to it, we get into belief systems and gods and a lot of things that will actually limit the understanding of consciousness. It's not really science, but it's going to be. It's not really considered physics yet, but it's going to be. But it is this thing called consciousness that you are is everything. Is everything. It's going to be strange looking back 20, 30 years ago from now. It's going to be strange for future generations from now to say, what was wrong with those people back in the 19th, 20th, 21st century? They had no understanding of consciousness. It wasn't really even in the vocabulary. I mean, it was a word, but nobody really knew what it meant. They're going to look back generations from now and be amazed, befuddled that humans at the time didn't even understand the basics of consciousness. And again, this is not spiritual. This is not New Age. This is not philosophical. This is the core of all things in the universe, in the omniverse, everywhere. That's why I've been very adamant with you, talking about experiencing the I exist, understanding consciousness, and understanding the difference between consciousness and energy. You hear the words and you're starting to understand, but you still tend to pair the two together. Consciousness and energy, the same thing, and they're not. With some of the recent experiences that we've had with going into consciousness, things like in the recent Mirab of going through the house and then out and ultimately releasing everything, being in nothingness. Some of you are really starting to understand, and it kind of rings a bell within you. This I exist, this consciousness. And it strips away all the machio, it strips away all the old belief systems, and it strips away, it washes away things like what you thought were your problems and your issues and everything else. And you suddenly realize, I exist. Death doesn't matter. Your relatives don't matter. Your job doesn't matter. When I say it doesn't matter, meaning you've been putting undue effort and focus into these things. They don't matter. With true consciousness, all this just kind of falls into place. Life becomes synchronous. It just happens. And it's all being led. The leading edge of all of it is consciousness. Where do you want your consciousness to be?